What's up, guys? JP back at you once again, bringing you guys day number 2 in my 7th annual 31 Days of Horror, and continuing along with this year's challenge. I have another film that's going to knock off multiple criteria. So first up, it is a slasher film. Second, it is one of the 2 films that I need to watch from the year 1982, thanks to the 22 Shots of Modes in Horror 1982 Top 10 show on the way. And it is the one film that I needed to watch that was directed by a female. And as you can tell by the title and probably the description of the criteria, I'm talking about Slumber Party Massacre from the year 1982. Slumber Party Massacre I have here on Blu-ray from Scream Factory. I actually had it sealed, never opened it. First time watching it on Blu-ray, I was pretty excited about that. I had the old triple pack that Shout Factory put out back in the day that I got to steal for like 10 bucks brand new back when it was, just coming out. But I haven't watched these films since. And Slumber Party Massacre I had seen as a young teenager. I was flipping through the channels, landed on the IFC channel, I believe, and saw the shower scene at the beginning of the film. And I was like, whoa. What did I stumble upon? And I watched the rest of it and things like that. And going into it this time, based on the cover and the history with the film that I had seeing it 2 other times, in my head it was always this super sleazy, nudity-filled film. And watching it this time, I didn't really get that vibe. So it basically follows a group of high school students who decide to have a slumber party, and they invite this girl who lives kind of close by. She's new to the town, I believe, and this new girl, overhears the other girls talking bad about her, so she decides not to go. Meanwhile, you have this escape killer who's carrying a power drill start picking these girls off, and it essentially is a slasher film. It's a basic slasher film based on the tropes of slasher films, and it was directed by a feminist, which is pretty interesting because there's a lot of film classes and different things like that that have studied this film and point out all of the different traits in this film, such as the killer and the drill, how it's phallic, and how the sexual frustration and the male gaze and all this different things like that. And you could look really deep into that because I believe Amy Jones has talked about it before, and probably even on the special features here. But as face value slasher, it's a pretty simple movie. It has a basic setup. It has basic characters. The characters get confusing to me. They're really not that unique, minus the lead girl, which I don't even know what her name is. I can't even remember what her name is. But, the lead girl is kind of a little bit more noticeable, but everybody else kind of fades into the background a little. Would have liked to see a little bit more uniqueness put into the characters. That's usually how slashers have become. You got the athletic one, the nerdy one, the the chubby one, all the token different stereotypical characters. There's a reason why slasher films have done that so often, and it's because it helps you differentiate the characters, which Slumber Party Massacre doesn't necessarily have that going on. But it has some decent kills, and honestly, I kind of dig the driller killer. He is, basic. He's just a guy with a drill, but he comes off kind of creepy. And that's one thing that I always notice about this film is there's no deep dark backstory or no tragic events that happen to this dude that set him off, and he's getting revenge years later, or he didn't drown as a kid or anything like that. He's just a guy who escaped a mental institution, and he's now stalking and killing these girls because maybe he's sexually frustrated. Either way, you gotta love the cover to Slumber Party Massacre. It's pretty awesome. It is a really fun movie. Is there as much depth to it as people say? I'm not sure. I never would have really got that out of the film had it not been pointed out to me. So maybe it's there, maybe it's not. Some people truly believe that there's a lot of meaning to this stuff, but I just take it at face value. It's a slasher film. It's fun, and it's 1982. So I was watching this in preparation for my top 10 list coming up. So I'm gonna give you a ballpark rating on this one, which I never do. I usually just give it a rating. So I'm gonna say between a 6.5 and a 7.5, somewhere in there. I do have a true rating for it, but not going to give that away right now, just in case it does make my top 10 or someone else's, or, you know, I don't want to spoil a list. So that is day number 2, which is Slumber Party Massacre. Pretty fun movie. I'm very interested in checking out the sequels now. I actually don't own the Blu-ray that Scream Factory put out. I was actually going to watch those, and I realized, oh wow, I never bought that. So maybe I need to buy that this month. Maybe I'll cover the other 2 this 31 Days of Horror. But, you know, as of right now, the first one, pretty fun movie. And the transfer, definitely good. That makes the movie even more enjoyable to me, is seeing it in a new light. New transfer always kind of makes me rediscover a movie. So with that said, guys, see you guys tomorrow with day number 3. Thank you for watching. And please, if you do reviews yourself, drop them in the comments down below. Thank you.